I'm Neil van Niekerk. I'm a photographer. I'm based in New Jersey. The work that I do is varied. It's weddings, portraiture, also write books. I maintain a blog. And I just got a studio space a year ago, so there's a commercial thing happening. So doing all kinds of interesting things with photography. Well, I started off shooting for different studios and then weddings for myself. So my work is grounded in weddings, but I've started diversifying. The strange thing maybe is that you're always told to specialize, specialize, specialize. But I think maybe I have that amateur's delight in photography still, and I just embrace more of it. So I've started doing time-lapse. I've sold some time-lapse clips, some commercial stuff, portraits, and weddings. But I think it's still grounded in weddings. And I think in a way, perhaps doing wedding photography very well is one of the more challenging fields, because you have to do portraiture posing, you have to shoot fast. It's available light stuff, you have to know your lighting. It's a whole diverse range of fields that come together with wedding photography. So I think somewhere at the end, that's probably at the root of everything that I do. It's grounded in that. My dream job would be, well, if we can really go wild on this one, I win the lottery and I just walk the streets with a Fuji and take street photography with no pressure. I think that would be the dream, not job so much, but the dream thing to do in photography is just with no pressure at all, just pure self-indulgence. In terms of a dream job, I think perhaps something like Mark Zelliger, the really high-end portraiture. That just to me looks like it's a different stratospheric level. I'd like to be there, maybe someday. That would be a dream job. Technically, I think in the technical sense, the more difficult part, so the challenge not as much as difficult is, especially with digital photography, is expanding at a pace far faster than we can keep up with. So it feels like I'm running at full speed just to stay kind of on top of things. But it's just accelerating at such a speed that we've never had 10, 15 years ago. That kind of technology just was never there. And now it's just a flood of stuff we have to kind of keep up with to remain competitive and remain valid as such. So that is in terms of the technical stuff. In terms of a business sense, it is the influx of new photographers. It's difficult to be heard and seen amongst the crowd. So, and I think most photographers struggle with that. So regardless of how good your work is, it's just you're drowned out by a flood of everybody else. And that's the challenge, is being seen and being heard. And that's marketing. So that's the challenge there, I think. I think newer photographers, the things they should concentrate on is getting to know the stuff. They should know the gear, they should know the basic stuff like aperture, ISO, shutter speed, how they interrelate. Those things should come natural, and everything else you do, the creative stuff, should just ride intuitively on top of all that technical stuff. They really should have that stuff down pat. No question about it. What I look for in a model is personality. I think personality trumps pretty. I've worked with beautiful people, and there's just something missing there, a spark that's missing there. And I've worked with people, you see them and go, well, they're okay. You're like, why are they models? And the moment you lift your camera, they switch it on and go, wow, I get it. So for me, it's personality. That absolutely trumps everything else. Do I get in a creative rut? I don't think necessarily a creative rut. I think we all fall into a pattern of doing things. I'm very aware of that, and I try and change it up. So it's, but I think more harmful than a rut is self-doubt. We start doubting ourselves, and that pulls ourselves down. So it's combined with that, it's keeping creativity up, keeping that momentum up. It's a challenge. General advice for photographers is never stop learning. And it's a good thing and a bad thing, maybe. I won't say a bad thing, but you'll never reach the peak. You'll forever be learning more and more and more. It's a constant drive upwards, and if you lose that momentum, you're going to fall behind. So my advice is just never stop learning, never stop getting it all in, soaking it all in. For me, I think a big mistake I see photographers do is they allow themselves some complacency by saying, oh, this is my style, this is my way of doing things, and therefore limiting the scope of what they do. It's a bit of self-indulgence. It's maybe protecting themselves against the challenge of really trying to broaden your knowledge base and broaden your expertise. And I think people fall into that excuse of, oh, this is my style, this is what my clients like. And I think they really limit their abilities, they limit their creativity, they limit what they could possibly be.